Let's go! We fly around, make plays, and we go out and get a win. And none of this promise. So what you gonna do with your moment right now?
Hey, hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into First Take. That's Stephen A. Smith. I like the jacket. I'm Molly Karam. Dan Orlovsky is late again. It is 10, 33, 34, 35, 36. Dan, are you coming? He will be here shortly.
We don't need him.
Where's the MVP?
Let's move on.
There he is.
What's up, man?
Wait, let me see those frames.
What's good with it?
Let me see.
I ain't just a little sauce. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
the
the frames. I like
could
that,
rock with those.
and the hat is better this week. The hat is better this week. I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with it.
We'll see Cam in
I got
NYC
gifts.
tomorrow.
I'll come bearing gifts. You dig what I'm saying? Just wait your time, Stephen A. I got you. Trust.
I got you.
Do you want to come, Dan? The show started at 10, but I mean, if you want to start at 10:02, that's cool.
Fine. That's a fine. That's a big boy fine, Danny boy.
Do you see what happened to Jimmy Butler? You know, when he missed the plane? Like, come on, dude. You know when the show starts.
Well,
All right.
Jimmy Butler is a little bit more important than I, so. Cam, what up, man?
Man, what's going on? How you thugging? You all right?
We have a show to do, ladies and gentlemen. Let's roll. Let's roll, y'all. Let's go. The audience is waiting.
Chill out with that jacket.
Championship Sunday is 3 days away. We got 4 quarterbacks who have a lot on the line. Josh Allen will be looking to get over the hump against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on Sunday. Allen is 0-3 against the Chiefs in the playoffs despite 7 touchdown passes and only 1 interception in the 3 games. Mahomes is 16-3 in the playoffs with 42 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He and the Chiefs have a chance to do what no team has ever done before, win 3 straight Super Bowls. Jayden Daniels and the Commanders have won 7 straight games, including road playoff wins in Tampa and Detroit. The shocking upset of the Lions gives Daniels the chance to be the first rookie quarterback to bring the team to a Super Bowl. And the Eagles have been rolling in the playoffs despite modest passing numbers from Jalen Hurts. He has 259 passing yards, which is 65 fewer than Saquon Barkley, who has rushing in the 2 wins. Okay. Stephen A.
Yes.
Which quarterback do you feel like can change their narrative the most championship weekend?
Me personally is Jalen Hurts. The reason why is because we don't talk about him much. We talk about him being a potential liability because Saquon Barkley has been so great. Philadelphia Eagles defense has been so great. And if Jalen Hurts is a guy that's on the level of a Patrick Mahomes, to a lesser degree, of course, Josh Allen, or even the way Jayden Daniels has been. And if he plays on that level, who's going to pick against the Eagles, considering the bevy of weapons that they have on both sides of the ball? Nobody's going to do that. The reason why you think that even though they should be favored, they could be had is because there's so many question marks as it pertains to Jalen Hurts. You know what he can do. You know he's had bright moments. You know he was a former league MVP candidate. You know he took the Eagles to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. All of that is true. But in the end, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and their success is primarily predicated on Saquon Barkley. If Jalen Hurts goes out there and performs at an elite level, the Philadelphia Eagles could win another Super Bowl championship. And that's what you're looking at right there. And once that happens, then the narrative, he overcomes that. He's got to a Super Bowl, and then he goes out and he wins a Super Bowl this year. Then all of a sudden, we're looking at Jalen Hurts in an entirely different light, and we're big up in him in a very big way.
I'm looking at it through a different lens, Stephen A.
Okay.
With the offseason already starting for most teams, I'm looking at Jayden Daniels as a way of, do we look at quarterbacks differently? Danielle, I already know you can relate to this because I feel like each and every year, each quarterback has been one-upping each other. We've seen C.J. Stroud last year, and we've seen, like, this may be the best rookie campaign that we've ever seen. And then here comes Jayden Daniels. And then now he's like, oh, my God, I have an opportunity to do something that has never been done in the NFL before. So if I'm Cam Ward, if I'm Shedeur Sanders, if I'm any quarterback in the draft, now I'm looking at to say, or asking this question, is the expectation unrealistic? And I'm not saying the expectations from the players in the locker room, even the coaches or even executives. I'm saying it from the fan base standpoint. Does the fans look at what Jayden Daniels have done, and if he wins this game, is that a realistic expectation for any rookie coming into the NFL now?
I mean, First of all, it's not win the Super Bowl. It's win this weekend. So that's a different conversation. It's Josh Allen for me, and I don't even think it's remotely close. One, Peyton Manning did not become Peyton Manning until he finally beat Tom Brady in the playoffs, 2006. Peyton was the guy that, had this really great career and a bunch of statistics and would always play well, but couldn't get it done, couldn't get past Brady. And then he finally got past Brady. That's who Josh is right now. Josh is the guy that, you're a great player, great stats, but you can't get past Patrick Mahomes when it matters the most. And people forget about some of the performances. You got to go get it done. And right now, he's the guy. Like, you got to go get past Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts nor Jayden Daniels is the guy. He's not the top of the mountaintop. Cam, you notice, when you got the top of the mountaintop and you got to go there and beat him, this is like Rocky going to the Soviet Union beating Drago, man. Like, you got to go knock the king off the mountain. You got to go into the belly of the beast and do something that nobody's done. And also this, Josh is the one guy, like the big four, and you guys might disagree with me on this. He's the one that's been, I think, hated on or minimized the most out of the Patrick, Joe, Lamar, Allen group. Like, Patrick's been the guy that's been lauded forever, rightfully so. And then there's been Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's the guy that, you knocked off Patrick Mahomes. So everyone constantly, and there's a part of that is real. And Lamar's the two-time MVP. He's the guy that has kind of transcended it since Michael Vick and a little bit since RG3 and Cam. Josh has always been the guy like, but you get a ton of turnovers. Or you get a ton of interceptions, or you're too reckless with the football. He's often the guy that people talk about in a negative fashion rather than a positive fashion. He's the one that you're the guy that finally knocked off Mahomes and beat the three-peat.
You make a very compelling argument, Dan Orlovsky. I'm not going to knock you for that, and I get where you're coming from. I disagree somewhat, but all your points are incredibly valid because we've been talking about Josh Allen for years. But here's my point. We've been talking about Josh Allen for years because he's already great. The real roadblock is Patrick Mahomes. Now, we can look at Bills Mafia, and we can look at the Bills and losing 4 straight Super Bowls and how the fact they ain't been back since, and we still remember, the field goal miss against the Giants. We still remember Marv Levy and their reaction. We still remember Jim Kelly. We still remember Thurman Thomas and those guys, Bruce Smith as well. But in the end, when you're looking at these Buffalo Bills, there's no questioning the greatness of Josh Allen. It's just whether or not you can beat Patrick Mahomes. What I'm saying to you is that we already know those. It's important. Don't get me wrong, because we're going to bring heat his way just the same way we brought it towards Lamar Jackson. And we will continue to do so until Lamar Jackson gets over that hump. That's fair. The flip side to it, however, is that, again, he's great. You're wondering about it with Jalen Hurts. And if Jalen Hurts beats Jayden Daniels in the Washington Commanders and you go to the Super Bowl and you knock off Mahomes or Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, we're going to be looking at Jalen Hurts completely differently. We'll give Josh Allen his props finally, but as you've testified on many occasions, we already know how great Josh Allen is. You just got to get it done. With Jalen Hurts, there have been question marks. There's not going to be any question marks. That brother go out there and he lead the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl championship. I'm saying he's going to benefit the most.
I say it like this, Stephen A. We can't chase ghosts here. I think we've seen what Jalen Hurts presents to the world, right? It's that. Whether you get a Super Bowl win or not, I think Jalen Hurts' argument is this. It's how did you win, right? He's been getting away with 180 yards, at most 180 yards of total offense. If he does that and wins a Super Bowl, but Saquon Barkley has 212 yards added in that,
I agree.
That doesn't make the point. We'll look at Jalen Hurts any different.
Exactly.
That's been my argument from day one, was saying what's the difference between? Yeah, but that's the difference between a game changer and a game manager. We're not asking you to win the football game. We're asking you to just not to lose the game. Hurts is in that position. That's not to deny his greatness or what he's been asked to do. When you look at Josh Allen, and even when you look at Jayden Daniels, for the sake of their teams, they're asked to do more. Their measure of mistake is very minimal. So even going into this weekend with Josh Allen has to play mistake-free football on top of putting up numbers. That's already hard going into Arrowhead.
Yeah.
When you're asking, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, to both your point, Cam, and also to Dan, what you were saying earlier about Josh Allen, because obviously we know Lamar takes a lot of criticism. But don't you remember Josh was voted the most overrated player by his peers as well. So there's certainly some
There's
credence.
years of that, Mal.
Yes,
You
to
know,
him being hated on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And listen, I agree with Cam's point because if Jaylen goes out and wins this weekend, unless he throws for 300 plus yards, which again I don't think is the reality of how the game is going to go.